Out of Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
This Christmas season. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 136. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the great shows on our network and all the other shows we're associated with by heading on over to BLF, clicking the podcast drop down to see what else has to offer. I am your co-host. I am from the other side of the Hudson River, a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I am Peter R. Vera, and today we're recording on December 20th, 2023. The year's almost over, and the champion has returned. As always, we have a great show for you today, but before we get into good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, if you take the time to review this show and rate it on Apple Podcasts, when we read your review on air, you just won our Straight Outta Gotham monthly prize pack. So please get into that contest. We do it every month. It's a lovely little contest. No one's won it in a while. No new reviews. If you resubmit a review, I think you're good to go. So if you want to resubmit another one, go for it. Get that algorithm working. You know, a nice fresh review would be wonderful for us, and we'll send you a couple of little knickknacks just in time for the holiday season. Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who just dominated the Miami MILF population, Florida's adopted son, the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman.
Thank you, Pete. Again,
no thigh was left unturned.
That rousing introduction. Once again, thank you. Yes, freshly back from Miami for a couple days now. Went down there to watch the Jets get annihilated. Was not fun. But I took my nephew. He turned 21. Took him for his 21st birthday. We had a good time. Weather didn't cooperate on Saturday, but it did cooperate for the game. So things were good. Got to hit up some breweries. I was just telling you before it came on air. One of them, I even sent the pic. I don't think I put the picture in the group. I should have. They had all these murals on the wall, and they had this one huge Star Wars one. But on the other side, they had all different drawings of prints from Batman covers too. I took pictures. I'll post them up. But from famous comic book covers, they had all different prints, and guys drew them, and it was fantastic. They had Star Wars stuff on the walls, and it was awesome. It was a really awesome place, and the beers were like named after certain pop culture phenomena. What
was the name of this place?
L. Wakefield Brewing Company. L. Wakefield, it was called. Yeah. It's in this, Wynwood is the area in Miami. It's an up and coming area in Miami. They had a bunch of, it's on, not in South, on the beach side. It's on the city side. It's part of downtown. And it was really cool. Like I said, I planned on going to the beach on Saturday, but because of the weather, we didn't go, and we had some other stuff to do. So I got to do other things in Miami that I had never done before. So it's more than just the beach.
Nice.
I'll say that.
That's
it's
right.
more than just the beach. So we had a good time.
Good for you, Eric.
Yeah. So since we're doing a little sports, a lot has happened with the Yankees since we last spoke. Huh?
Yeah. They've been doing good. Hopefully they sign a Yamamoto. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but the trade for Juan Soto, yeah, man, they're going for it again. This is what they used to do all the time. So fans are happy.
Yeah, this is how the Yankees are supposed to act. It's just good. It's good. Soto solves a lot of problems offensively. So we'll see what happens and what kind of numbers he can produce. Hopefully hitting. It seems like he wants to hit behind Judge. I don't care where he hits. Just let the two of them hit, and we'll see what happens.
Adding Verdugo was a good move too, I thought.
Yeah, he's a good fourth outfielder. I still think you're waiting for when Dominguez comes back. He won't be much of a starter, but that's not going to happen until after the All-Star break, I think.
Right.
Sometime after. So all good things. Still need a little pitching. Pitching is always key. It's rough to lose King, but to get talent, you got to give up talent. So
yeah. That's true, yeah, and we'll see what happens with Yamamoto. Now they're saying they don't think he'll make a decision until after Christmas.
I don't. It just seems weird to me. It's like, don't you have? Like, you got to have an idea. Like, how many times are you going to listen to everyone say the same thing? Like, the pitch is the pitch.
I agree. I don't know what exactly he's waiting on, but whatever it is, who knows? Maybe he just wants to enjoy the holidays without having to have all this stuff going on around him. I have no idea. But it's cool. It is cool to be a Yankee fan again, that they're acting the way we're used to them acting.
Mhm.
And that's, I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Who do you think is driving it? It's got to be Hal, right? I have to think.
Yeah, I don't think Hal likes being booed in his own building. I think Cashman's ego can let him handle that,
Right.
but I don't think Hal can handle it.
Yeah. So this has got to be a director from the owners. And I mean, everyone wanted him to act like his dad. Well, he's starting to do that now. So we'll see what happens. But still a long time to go in the off season. The winter meetings are still going, or are they still going?
Winter meetings are over.
They're over. Okay.
Usually, most big free agents sign before Christmas. So
Isn't there another thing going? Some kind of showcase I read about where teams go now too. Some kind of player show. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my sports confused.
Maybe that's like more developmental.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
international.
Possible. I think that's what it is. I think it's the international.
The Pro Bowl players, you know what they are. You know the back of their baseball card.
Right. So we'll see what happens. But it is, again, like I said, it's fun to be and of course, being in this area, Steve Cohen and his big pockets could always hop in and make life difficult. So for the Yankees,
it didn't make life difficult for the Dodgers because they seemed to sign Ohtani with no problem.
I know, man. That contract is crazy. I don't know. I don't know how the league's gonna go forward with contracts like that. But now they kind of set a precedent.
There's always somebody who does something so drastic that eventually a rule's been made, and we'll see a rule be made soon.
Yeah,
I imagine next CBA this will be discussed.
Yeah, apparently how they pay him is one thing, but how it shows up on their books is another. So
because they still get it's
the annual average value, right?
Income tax or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's the AAV.
It costs them $46 million in income,
right?
Baseball tax.
Yeah. So they do that by the annual average value of the contract, which is a hockey thing. Most hockey contracts are done that way, but apparently that's how they value these longer deals. No matter how the cash is actually dispersed, it counts as they use the AA value on their books. So
not my problem.
Yeah, not mine either. That's what I say. I'm not paying it, but it is crazy to see.
I don't have to pay it. I don't have to calculate it. I got nothing to do with it.
He got the contract of the best hitter and the best pitcher, and they just combined it. That's basically what he got.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
We'll see if he can do it.
We'll see how
it's funny because I never thought he was the best pitcher. He was a good pitcher, but to get paid as the best.
I know.
Like he's still the best pitcher in his own league.
I know. That's a very fair statement. I think it's the novelty of it in a way.
So you're paying him to be a sideshow? That's interesting.
Well, it is entertainment.
No, I get it. It's just I don't know. We'll see. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if something didn't go the Dodgers' way for a little bit.
Well, they won the COVID World Series, right?
Yeah, a lot of people don't give them credit for that. They still went through a tournament,
right? Well, one guy who's not doing so well, at least in the past few days, the Jonathan Majors verdict came in, and he was convicted on 2 counts and acquitted on 2 counts. I'm not going to get into the counts. It doesn't matter. So he was guilty of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment following a 2-week trial that stemmed from the March incident between the actor and his ex-partner, Grace Jabari. In accordance with that, or because of that, Marvel, of course, dropped him from Kang. So for our purposes and what we discuss on this show, that's the bigger storyline. And who knows what they're going to do now? There's a lot of speculation about what's going to happen. They could recast the role, which a lot of people are saying they should do, or they could switch to a different villain and change the course of the whole thing. Like,
if you ask me, Marvel hasn't been too good at setting things up properly lately. I feel like they've been really working hard at this multiverse saga, and I almost don't really trust them to make a pivot here and kind of switch directions. I think I think the thing to do is just recast, and I don't see what the problem with that is. I grew up in a time where I saw 3 different Batman actors in the span of 5 years
Yeah,
play essentially what was at the time the same character in the same universe.
fair.
Blah blah blah. We've seen actors get recast in roles all the time. We saw it happen in the MCU with Terrence Howard. I don't know what the problem is with that anymore. They don't seem to like doing that. Studios, they rather just get a different character and replace a character than recast an actor. But I think you just recast him. I don't know what they're going to do. I hear a lot of scuttlebutt of Doctor Doom, but I don't want them to ruin the first appearance of Doctor Doom in this, what could be a good Doctor Doom. I've had 2 versions of a Doctor Doom, not the Doctor Doom, and I don't want them to rush it along. I'd rather have whoever's in charge of Fantastic Four bring along Doctor Doom. But then again, that's not how Marvel does things. So I'm all about recasting, but chances are they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with if they chose to recast. I'm a big fan of his work, so I was really upset that this happened. But I mean,
because he was great in Loki. Once you saw him and what he was able to do with Loki, Ant-Man was something. And he proved he could physically be a villain, right?
Right.
That fight scene's pretty good, even though Ant-Man gets his ass kicked. But he was able to really stretch himself and show us what he's got in Loki. I've seen a few things. I saw the Creed movie he was in. I haven't seen a whole lot of Jonathan Majors. I wasn't really following the catalog, but what I saw, I liked. And I was kind of getting hyped up. I thought of you when this happened because I know you were all about it because you love Loki. So I know that you were really excited to see what Kang was going to do. And who's to say that the guy if they recast or replace isn't better?
Right. I mean, I've heard already people have thrown out John Boyega, who he said he doesn't want to do it, so he could scratch him as a name off the list. There've been other guys that they've thrown out there, but I was just thinking, I'm like, a lot of the actors who possibly could do it, like Winston Duke or Daniel Kaluuya, they were in Black Panther, so it's. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could,
but
if you want.
Isn't the whole point of the character he can look like anyone and be
Right.
anyone? So doesn't that kind of fit in with the whole motif?
Right. Yeah, I guess you could because of the nature of the character, but I think it would be a little confusing for people. And again, I don't know if these actors even want to do the play the part and play in the Marvel sandbox again. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think I'd be fine with recasting. If they chose a villain, different villain. I would hope it's not Doctor Doom. I would hope it's somebody else that they go with. Another big time villain from the MCU. I mean, there's plenty of years of villains to choose from. So you could even make it some kind of ensemble villain cast, something like that. I don't know, but
the Return of Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a number of things. But yeah, I don't
know, but everyone's been begging the MCU to basically do what they used to do. Like, give us a overall story plot, something that carries over. Like lately with the multiverse saga, it's kind of been lacking that. So I don't know if you want to just. They've been trying to build towards something, so that's what I'm saying. Like, just steer the course. Don't drive off track.
Right? Could you pull whatever, like all these films coming out? Could you pull the villain from each one and build something around that?
Maybe. I feel like that's the old way of making these movies. That's very 90s.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think outside the box now because this happened, and I don't even know how what they're thinking. None of us really know what they're thinking. All we do know is that they did hire Michael Waldron, I think, was hired, right, to pen the Kang Dynasty, and he was the writer on Loki. So maybe what they're gonna do now, he's gonna write now. It's just called Avengers 5. So he's gonna come in to write something else. Maybe because of how Loki ended, he can go forward with a different kind of script based off of what they showed in the finale of Loki, which basically Loki now is the controller of the multiverse, right? He's the guy who's pulling all the strings, for lack of a better term. So you could do something with that as well. Maybe Hiddleston was wrong. Maybe he has not stopped playing Loki.
I mean, this could be a really good thing for him then if he can get another job out of it.
Right?
Loki's in high demand.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. As for Majors, I mean, I don't know what this means for his career. It's going to be at least 5 or 6 years before he probably gets a serious role again, if he ever does. If he gets any jail time, they say he could be up for a year. I don't think he'll get any, but who knows? Who knows what?
Yeah, no, he made some questionable choices. It's rough. He's a good actor. It's a sad story.
It is sad story all around.
It's
But
just it's interesting. Like Jonathan Majors is the one who bit the bullet. Like Ezra, Amber Heard, everyone else in Hollywood who is it seems like up in controversies the last few months, years, or whatever, was able to at least make their movie. he got to Loki and never got shot. So it's interesting.
Well, none of them were convicted of anything this bad.
That's true.
So, and the crazy thing about it is, if he didn't call 911, none of this happens. He actually called because she was acting crazy, and they arrested him because they saw stuff on her. And now
I haven't been following it all, so I have no idea.
That's basically how it began. And now he's the one that's paying the price. And again, if he hit her and all that stuff, I don't want to make it sound like I'm being, throwing away her story. If all this stuff really happened, then yes, he deserves it. The jury thought it did, so he deserves it. He's gonna have to pay for his crimes. But it's just the crazy thing is, if he never called 911, none of this happens.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, because she originally wanted to keep the authorities out. Like, she didn't. I remember when it first happened, we even talked about it on the show. She was like, she didn't want to include it, and she was kind of siding with him and backing his story. So it's crazy, but it is what it is. The MCU will continue without him. And one of the movies that we know is coming, principal photography has finished, is Captain America, which is now called Brave New World, not New World Order. And there's a reason for that. New World Order is a term that there's idea that the secret global government pulling the strings and brainwashing people that has deep ties to anti-Semitic beliefs that Jewish people are somehow secretly puppeteering the entire planet to line their pockets. So because of the negative...
Did you think of that back when like Hulk Hogan started the NWO? Like, was that like a thing? Like, I was like, this is ridiculous. I wore NWO t-shirts as a kid. Like, no one thinks of that. Everyone thinks of the wrestling stable. Get over yourself. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous. This is like being just afraid of woke culture and like, we can't do this. We're going to get canceled. Like, oh God, stop. It's fine.
Right. I'm with you there. The term has such a broader meaning. But in the times we're in right now, I understand the change and I understand why they did it. But like you said, NWO was, to me, that's what I know them from wrestling. When I watched wrestling,
no one thinks of this. No,
that's
like,
what it was.
Yeah. I guess in terms of like, what is the NWO? It's an organization that comes out and pulls the strings. Like that was the angle of the NWO and WCW. It was supposedly the WWF pulling the strings behind the back of WCW and invading their stable. But like, come on, give me a break.
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm so done with stupidity. Like, this just seems dumb to me.
It does. It's a little, to me, it's a little silly. I don't think people would have made the same connection, but I'm not running a global company, like Disney, putting out movies to get everyone to come and see. If it offends one, it offends, that's all they care about. So the new title, Brave New World, is a reference to the Aldous Huxley novel, which I'm sure, did you have to read it in school?
No? I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, I did. It's a book about a dystopian future society called the World State. The society reveres science and utilizes eugenics to create a perfect society, but it is ultimately a flawed system, as any dystopian society is, similar to the dystopia we see in Mad Max. So I think it kind of gives a hint too to what the film's going to be about, especially with Captain America. All the Captain America films had something to do with questioning the larger system at hand, right? So whether it was Shield in Winter Soldier, then in Civil War, the Avengers itself, it was all the movies have the same underlying tone. So this is kind of another one where we're looking at a society that exists now that, something's up.
Okay,
And
so now that they changed the fancy title, it better be a good movie because things have come out. Let's just say that. I mean, they're basically rewriting the movie that came out last week. You got your fancy title, but you're having production problems. Like, there's a lot going on with Cap.
Well, they're doing reshoots. They're always doing reshoots. And that's why they
reshoots, though. These are big these are big time reshoots.
I missed that story.
And they brought in a new writer to rewrite new scenes. What's his name? Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, Matthew Orton. They brought in Matthew Orton.
Like there's problems on the Cap 4 set. The MCU's still having issues. Cap 4's got problems, guys. It's not as smooth, It just isn't. Steve, you're introducing Sam in his first real movie. Like, I know Sam's been around for a while and he had his own TV show, but now he's Captain America. Like, it's kind of different. Sam's Captain America is a little bit different than Steve's overall, just personality wise, how he acts, what he does.
Well, what if the change was just what if they were kind of expecting Majors to get convicted and they were making plans and they hired Orton to shift anything in that movie that might reference Kang?
Well, then you're going, I got a deeper problem with the MCU in general now. Cause like Kang really, for what Steve's doing, I don't think Kang's on Steve's radar. Sam. Right. I don't think Kang's on Sam's radar. Like there shouldn't be much Kang to do in Captain America 4. There really shouldn't. Like it should be post credit and that's it, honestly.
Right. No, I'm just spitballing because, I don't know. Whenever I hear these things, I think the knee jerk thing is to think, oh, there's a bunch of issues, and it could not be. They might just be changing something because they're shifting a story. Mm-hmm. That's all. So you're right. I mean, you could be right.
They're shifting. I don't know. See, that just gets me nervous. If I'm not nervous for Cap 4, then I'm nervous for everything else coming up because now they're changing everything on the fly. That's not good. It's not.
But that's what they do all the time.
They change things in post. They're notorious for the post production.
It is. It is in post.
But they're reshoot. It's in post. But they're reshooting and they hired a new writer. Like this is more than just
right. He's obviously hired to pen pickups. New scenes. You're correct. Yes.
It's more than pickups.
You don't hire a writer after in post to to change the script. Right. You're right.
Every movie goes through pickups and reshoots. It happens with every film.
They're doing something more. They're adding something to this film. That's what they're doing. Yeah. Just what is it and how deep does it go? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little concerned with Cap 4. I got my issue. I got my concerns. Not issues.
We'll see. Concerns. I don't have issues until there are issues to be had. then I'll pick up the issues. I need to wait and see how this.
I've read enough trades.
You're right.
That when you bring in a new writer for new scenes, I was like, oh man, this sounds horrible.
You are correct. But I mean, I'll say this, when they did Rogue One and they added the Darth Maul stuff to it after, that was added and written after.
But wouldn't you say in order to get to what Rogue One is, didn't it have to go through some horrible decisions and just it went through a lot of stuff to get through what it is. You don't want to go through that to make a movie. As good as Rogue One is, you still don't want to go through that process to make a film.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm confusing. Rogue One was the Darth Vader scene at the end that they added. Solo was the Darth Maul stuff that they added. Sorry, I got confused. But those are the two that so both of them were after the film was finished. They were added to the movie. So
if it's something like that, that's a different story where it seems like it's kind of minuscule. But I don't know, just with everything going on and like you said, Majors and how connected everything is with the MCU, I'm kind of looking at the big picture here, and I just feel like this is a little peculiar.
I agree. I mean, it's not ideal, but we'll see what happens. I feel like that's a big question with the MCU now because of how all the films are performing. So going forward, I think that's a big
means Tom
question.
Holland's going to make a lot of money. Spider-Man, save us.
You're probably right there. But one film that there's apparently some hope on, and it looks like it is going to happen and go forward, is Blade. Mahershala Ali finally spoke about it. He says, I think we'll be back at it relatively soon. He spoke to Entertainment Weekly. We're working on it. That's the best I could tell you. I'm really encouraged with the direction of the project. So that's a good
he's
sign.
saying all the right things. It's nice to hear it from him because it sounded like he was the one who made a lot of complaints early on. He didn't like the script, the direction. It seemed like he had a lot of issues with what was going on there. So it's good to hear Mahershala talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm still in wait and see mode. I still
of
got to figure it out a
course.
little bit.
I mean, until we know that it's actually filming, yes, I agree. But he did go on to say he's sincerely encouraged in terms of where things are at and who's on board and who's leading the way as far as the writing of the script and the directing. So you're right. He was kind of really pissed before, and
we haven't heard from him really. Like he's a very quiet man.
Yep. And everyone thought he was going to leave the project.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors of that.
So the fact that he spoke about it and he seems to be in a good place with it is a good sign. Again, he's an actor I don't think the MCU wants to lose. So I'm sure he was very involved in the process and going forward. So we'll see.
I think Blade's big for them. I think Blade is one of their more popular characters that isn't established yet. Like I think in a sense the MCU needs a little bit of Blade.
I agree.
Spider-Man, Blade,
Yeah,
especially with what's going on with Cap 4. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he wasn't before the movies came out. He wasn't a household name, but now
Wesley did that,
right?
Yeah.
So to bring him back into the fold when the MCU is having its bumps in the road right now would be wise, and to lose
and
that
people
movie,
like Blade. Like don't forget, like that what's it called? That TV show with what's his name? Sticky Fingers.
Yeah,
people watched it. It hung around for a little bit. People watched it.
I didn't.
People like Blade.
I didn't watch it. I do like Blade, but I don't. I remember I wanted to watch it.
I just couldn't find the time slot.
I wanted to watch it. I never started, and then it was canceled. So I don't know. But all right, so Pete, you have a compatriot.
What?
With one thing. You have a brother in arms, so to speak, with one thing. Ryan Reynolds was calling out the Deadpool 3 set photo leaks.
Yeah, it's about time someone actually did what I've been doing for years.
Right?
I'm tired of all these guys. The guys like Nico and Kowalski who like to share set pics and ruin things for me before the trailer comes out. Like those guys, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
So I just I don't get it why people just want to do why can't we wait for the movie?
I agree.
You share something that's incomplete or you share something that's special effects. It's like the pictures of the bat suit back when they were filming the Batman and everyone's like, oh, and then you see it in the movie, oh, it looks great. And shut up and just watch the movie. I'm so tired of it. I'm glad somebody called them out. I've been doing it for years and everyone's like, oh, look at old man Simpson yelling in the wind. I'm like, yeah, you're still a jackass.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not one of those people who likes to see set pics and those kinds of things. I like to be surprised. That's part of the fun of going to the movies. It was really disappointing that we got Garfield and Maguire's roles in No Way Home before the movie came out. So I've adopted the thing you do is you block all of the social media from those movies until they come out. I've also done a really great
job of blocking a lot of clickbait news.
Yeah, that's true. The other with Star Wars, it was the same thing. When all the new Star Wars movies came out, I had to wind up blocking all the Star Wars stuff. I even did it. There was even a app they had for Google Chrome where you could apply it and it would block websites that had information on the movies. So that was cool too. But yeah, it's not a good thing. So Reynolds took to Instagram and said, this was his message. Surprises are part of the magic of theatrical movies. It's important for us to shoot the new Deadpool film in real natural environments using practical effects as opposed to making the movie indoors and digitally. Telephoto lenses continue to spoil surprises and create a difficult situation for everyone. Here's hoping some of the websites and social channels hold back showing images before they're ready. The film is built for audience joy, and our highest hope is to preserve as much of that magic as possible for the finished film and the big screen. Part of the reason people post spoilers is because they're excited. I realize these aren't real world issues, and it's firmly in the good problems bucket. I love making this movie. So, if you're out there and you're inclined to continue to do this, please stop.
Just don't share the picture. Just send it in your text thread. Don't send it to, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fanboycosmic.net. Just keep it to yourself. I don't want to see your sick pics.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
I don't want to see, like, Ryan Reynolds wearing half a Deadpool suit next to, I don't know, some guy who looks like the Juggernaut. Like, I don't need to. I'll just wait till the movie. Like, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to see them sitting in their chairs drinking coffee between takes.
I agree. Well, James Gunn was back in the news again, like he always seems to be. I feel like every show we'd say discuss something that he said. But this time he was specifically speaking on Batman the Brave and the Bold. There had been a bunch of rumors that they were casting people, and famously now Alan Ritchson said he would love to play Batman. Obviously that wasn't a rumor, that was just him saying he would love to play the part.
I'd love to be an athlete.
But all these things are coming out, so someone asked him to debunk it on Threads, and he said there's no script yet, so anything you're hearing about it is false. Which goes in line with what he said on our last show, where he said if there's not a script yet, there's probably nobody cast, right? So, guys, just wait, and we haven't even had Superman Legacy yet. Like,
we haven't even gotten to Joker 2 yet.
Right. Like, let this stuff happen. Why everyone's so concerned about you have a Batman. He's coming. We have a Batman, and Matt Reeves' Batman is Robert Pattinson. We all know that. Enjoy that Batman for now.
It's like the fanboy ADD is ridiculous. Like, it's always about what's next and what's coming and what can I look forward to, instead of what can I sit down and enjoy. Just enjoy the Batman. Rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Rewatch Batman Forever. You could rewatch 66 or Superman 78 or, I don't know, Wonder Woman 84. You can watch anything. Yeah, Blue Beetle. Like, just rewatch something. Like, it's coming. Relax. Let them make it. Let them figure it out. Like, have some patience.
It's true.
Tomorrow will come.
It's true. It's so annoying. And I used to like speculating who would be in these roles, and I still do like that part of it.
There's a difference between speculating and saying, "Hey, James Gunn, what's new?" You know,
right.
Right. I used to give Gunn a lot of credit for answering these people, but now I'm just like, some of these people are idiots. Like, who cares? Like, dude, like, how long are you taking a dump for? Why are you responding to this person?
I know.
Like, there's really an email to answer. Like, isn't Brad Pitt like, man, I just don't think I'm good for the role of, like, I don't know, Lieutenant Martin in this movie. Like, don't you have, like, somebody else to talk to?
It's true. Well, I get caught up in all of it. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's fun to fan cast and speculate. I mean, I have people on the top of my head who I think I'd like to play. I've talked about Robin, who I think should play Robin.
Where's the email to Holzman about the new Aquaman? We know Momoa is out. Where's that email?
Well, it's funny you brought that up, because we're going to talk about that. So we've talked about this before, and everyone
you finally got a contract. You're the new DC Aquaman.
Yeah, I wish. I need my DCU nutritionist and my DCU personal trainer.
You sound like A-Rod.
I
need
my
cousin Victor Sucrates
to go along with this, because I need to get into shape. But as we know, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is coming out on Friday. This Friday, actually. We're recording on Wednesday. I got tickets, so I'm going to go see it. Get a chance. But he recently spoke to Entertainment Tonight about playing Aquaman, what it was like in the future of the character. And this is what he says. He said, I don't necessarily want it to be the end, but I don't think it's really like a choice. He said that, of course, Gunn and Safran were tapped to start up their own thing. He said, the truth of it is, I mean, if the audience loves it, then there's a possibility. But right now, it's not looking too good.
We got to make Aquaman a $3 billion movie, guys.
Seriously.
Screw Christmas. It's Aquamus. We're all going to the theaters this weekend. Aquamus.
Great.
La, 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 splash. We're all supporting Aquaman this weekend.
Well, I think everyone who loves the Aquaman and loves the first film and loves Momoa in the role should definitely do that. So guys, go see this movie.
I plan on seeing it the 23rd.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's my goal. Like I'm excited to see this movie. I bought a bunch of action figures for this movie. I have been collecting Black Manta figures like it's crazy. There's Manta Men figures out there, guys. Actual Manta Men. Like this is cool stuff. I'm really excited for this. I can't wait. I'm looking forward. I can't wait. I'm going to talk about it on Christmas Eve. I'll talk about it on Christmas. I'm going to tell everyone to go see it because I'm sure I'm going to love it. You know, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what Yaha brings to this movie. Is this baby going to die? There's so much cool stuff about Aquaman. They're going to kill a toddler. This is going to be crazy.
I'm not sure that speaks to the spirit of the season, but yeah, they might.
Go see Aquaman 2 where they kill a baby.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Can you imagine this life-size dead baby from Mattel?
Oh, God.
New Aquaman dead baby toy underneath your kitchen tree. Sorry.
They have the before and after toy. No, that's
it's
terrible.
Just a trout without its head.
Oh, God.
Sorry. This show got really morbid fast.
It's okay. It's all right. Because it is a thing, though. We see the baby, and then we see the house blown up in the trailer. So
yeah, I just did an episode of the Comic Binge with Paul Herman, Javi, and Cloud last night, and we talked about it. And it's just we're just talking about dead babies.
Seriously, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So, but just for the record, Momoa did say he loves playing Aquaman. He'd love to do it for a long time. He says he has an idea in his head of what he'd like to do with the character. But we all know the writing's been on the wall for a while. We all know what the most likely thing is going to happen, is that this is the last time we'll see him as Aquaman. I hope not, because I love him in the role.
He does tease playing Lobo. He says playing Lobo would be cool in the same article.
He does.
Which is something.
He does say he was a big fan of Lobo, right? Which we had heard. This was the first rumor when all of this was falling apart. We had heard that he was going to stop being Aquaman and become Lobo. Not in the same movie. I feel like
Momoa rumors are always the first rumor we hear. Like we first heard he was going to be Aquaman in BVS a long, long time ago, right?
Right. Yeah.
and then this new DCU, it's like it seemed like Lobo was cast before anything else.
Remember
which is kind of crazy for Gunn to do. He just cast his brother as Max Lord, and there's no story with Max Lord currently. That's
true.
It being written, right? As far as we know.
That's true. We're going to get to that in a minute. Just to close the Momoa thing, he says that he kind of says that the biggest thing about this, him being Polynesian and growing up with water and oceans, that he's been able to take those things, and because he's Aquaman, start causes to help with the oceans and cleaning up stuff. So that's cool. Like for him, someone like that, if you
kind of like how you cleaned up Coney Island.
Yeah. Okay. I wish. I'll be more likely to clean up the.
Go eat at Nathan's Frank on Eric. He cleaned up Coney Island.
Yeah.
Him and Stefan Marbury.
I didn't do such a good job. It's still pretty dirty. But yeah. So you mentioned that James Gunn, of course, hired his brother Sean Gunn once again to in the DCU. We don't. We know he's Max Lord, but that's all we know. We don't know if he's going to be in Superman Legacy. We don't know if what he's going to be in.
Everyone's in Superman Legacy.
I know, right? It seems that way. So maybe that's where he'll show up. I have no idea. You got to
think that's where he's going to pop up, right? Like, why would you cast him if he's not going to be in a movie soon?
Right. You would think so. But what's the other one? Maybe what if Max Lord is going to be in Creature Commandos?
Maybe, I don't know, but like this is another continuity problem. Like, what's it called? Sean Gunn was Calendar Man in the Suicide Squad. We know those movies carry over.
I know.
There you go. It's not that simple.
It's not. So that's why I said that, because that's animated, and he would do the voice.
Interesting. I don't know, but then James Gunn says the animated actors will play.
He did. That's fair. That is a good point.
So again, it's all wait and see unless you're on Threads and you want to annoy the man.
So, well, one guy they recently spoke to, comicbook.com had an interview with Zachary Levi, who of course plays Shazam, Billy Batson. And he was talking, he said he'd love to play the role again in the future. He said he'd love to collaborate with Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern, which I thought was great. But he specifically spoke about his role, if anything, in the future. And he said, listen, he talked specifically about Sean Gunn being cast. He said, listen, when you're the brother of the guy who runs DC, I guess you get to play who you want. Because like you said, he was Weasel, Calendar Man.
That's right. He was Weasel too. He was Weasel.
Now cast as Max Lord. So
he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
I saw a lot of people coming at him.
No,
he's not wrong.
Well, if you watch the thing, it's tongue in cheek, right? He's saying it. He's kind of he's not.
I didn't watch the video, but if it is tongue in cheek, there's still some truth to it. I'm sorry. Like,
sure.
All these guys are fighting for their jobs. They're all freelance.
Sure. I mean, and Gunn has his people, right? Like he has these actors he's worked with before, and we see them show up in other movies, just like
you gonna get mad when Scorsese casts DiCaprio again,
right? Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, all these actors, all these directors. Yep, all these directors work with these actors, and they like them, and they put them in future projects. So it's not out of the norm that this happens, but the fact that he's his brother, I think that adds a little bit of a layer to it. So
I'm sure it helps that he's his brother. I'm sure it helps they work together. I'm sure Zachary Levi's just being honest. Like that's it. Like,
yeah, but I mean, if you saw it, it was a playful thing. It was not the fact that people are coming at him so strongly. It's hysterical to me. But that's the world we live in now, right?
I like those two Shazam movies. I like them a lot.
I do too. Speaking of Gunn, and we mentioned Superman Legacy again, there's more casting.
Is there?
Yes.
Maybe.
So Miriam Shore apparently is in early talks, this is not finalized yet, to become the latest to join the growing cast of James Gunn's Superman Legacy. Now, Miriam Shore most right now is in a film that's being pushed for Oscar consideration called Maestro, based on Leonard Bernstein, and it's Bradley Cooper is in the role, and I think he directed it too. So, there's that, and then she's also in American Fiction, which is the movie that stars Batman, James Gordon, Jeffrey Wright. So there's lots of connections here and stuff to the universe.
It's interesting because Gunn has actually gone onto Threads and debunked this, which is the interesting part.
Well, he debunked the Palm Clemente portion of it.
Okay, not the Miriam part.
Not the Miriam Shore part.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I got confusing. I was like, who's in this movie or not at this point?
Yeah.
Because it all happened really fast within like 2 hours. In 2 hours, THR was the first trade to post the casting article, and then everyone followed, and then really quickly James Gunn debunked it,
right.
And then they all had the right retractions. I've actually never seen anything like it. It's very interesting. I've never it happened so fast. You know, usually because what was it? He hasn't really said anything about. It took him a while to talk about Holt being Lex. Like he didn't usually he's like, hey, welcome aboard. You know, he didn't send out the welcome aboard. What do you call a thread? Is it just a thread? Like Twitter has tweets. I'm just curious. Is it just
it's just a thread.
It's a thread. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be technical. I don't want to. What do you call a Vero? A ver? I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, that I don't know. That's your world.
Actually, it's gotten a lot quieter. Everyone's on Threads. If you didn't notice. They've all migrated to the Threads for some reason. I guess the Lord and Savior claimed it. But yeah, usually he welcomes somebody to his movie and blah, blah, but he didn't do that for Holt. And then for this, it was kind of back and forth, and everyone wrote retractions to their article. So I was kind of a little confused, and I was like, do we report this or do we not report this? Do we talk about it? Is this or is this actually not news, or are we contributing to clickbait bullshit? But I'm actually so confused right now, then I think it's important we talk about it.
Yeah, THR took the Palm Clementif part off of it, but they didn't take the Miriam Shore part off of it. So
Okay, so it was 50-50. All right.
yeah, so I'm
Maybe
assuming
talks
that
didn't
she's
work
still,
out.
yeah, that's possible. But again, that would make sense, like we were talking before. Palm Clementif played Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
but I tell you what, I still trust the Hollywood Reporter way more than I trust at Steven745. On X. I'm just saying, like, yeah, they may get something wrong. They may get some misinformation. That's how these things go. I mean, we're sports guys. We see how everybody reacts to whatever John Heyman or one of these guys tweets out for baseball free agency. It's no different than that. It's all about where you get your information from, and sometimes, by the time you get your information, something's changed. So
yes,
these people don't have like an agenda, is what I'm saying. They don't like sit there and be like, oh, they're getting paid. They're not. Because if they're still getting paid off, they're not getting paid enough money.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. If it's in a trade, I'm still gonna run with what the trade says. So that's it.
Yeah,
that's the rule of thumb.
Like, discussing film,
right?
Well, like actual trusted trades.
So, well, we talked about the Batman, and as we know, the sequel is in the works. October 3rd, 2025, guys. That is when the Batman 2, whatever, if it's just going to be called the Batman Part 2 or who knows. But one of the characters who had a scene in the first one, but it wasn't in the theatrical cut, of course, we know was Barry Keoghan's Joker. So he was doing an interview, and he was asked if the Joker would be in the Batman 2. Now, he says he can't say anything, and if you saw the video, he was smiling through the whole thing. He goes, it would be exciting, wouldn't it? See the Joker come to life again. My smile says all. You know what I mean?
Look, I'm all about seeing old bubbly face pop up in another movie. I'm dying to get an actual clean look at this Joker just to see how ugly he is.
Right.
I like Barry. I think he's gonna bring a lot to the table. I like his mannerisms. I think he can be a really interesting Joker in this franchise. So I'm excited to see it. I don't know if he's going to keep up with the Hannibal Lecter routine or what. I'm just along for the ride. I hope I get to see more of it because I want a real clean look. I'm like, yeah, it's a little different. It's a little out there. He's kind of grotesque, but I want to see what this Joker looks like and what he's capable of doing and just how much he can torment Batman. So I'm excited. I hope he's in it. But whatever amount of screen time he has, I'm sure I'll enjoy.
Well, if he is in it, do you think it's going to be similar to what he was doing in the first film?
Yeah, I think we're setting up for a big Batman Joker confrontation when this is all said and done.
Right, I agree.
I kind of feel like that's what we're building up to. I think that was the point.
Yes, I agree. I think that's how they introduced them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and
I think we'll get a little bit more.
He's in prison right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna work off that somehow, and then of course he'll probably escape like he always does, and then they'll go from there, which would be interesting because we haven't seen that yet in a film.
No, we've never seen the Joker escape from custody. Really? Right? Oh, the Dark Knight. We saw the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah, but we've never seen him escape actually being in jail. He's in jail now.
Mm-hmm. He was mostly. They kept him in the holding cell because they thought that was the safest place for him.
Right.
He's actually in Arkham. So yeah, the only real villains. Let's see. We've got Two-Face escaped in Forever. He escaped from Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Freeze escaped from Arkham. Ivy rescued him at one point. Batman and Robin.
Yep.
And the Joker and the Dark Knight. So we've seen a couple villains escape custody. But it'd be cool to see it in this franchise. It'd be something new. Yeah,
it goes along with the noir style too. Like it's something that happens in noir films.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this character progresses. Again, it's a different kind of Joker, which they had to do. So we'll see.
In fact, each Joker really, aside from Gotham, which tried to suck up everything and put it all into one, puke pie. Every Joker has really been very different from the last.
Yep. That's a very good point.
And even the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, while the face paint and he's a regular guy and everything, all that jazz, the fact that there's no there's no Batman, like there's no
Right.
real bat motivation for the Joker, that makes him so much different. Like each Joker has been very, very different.
Yeah. And it's a testament to all the writers to realize that, because all of the performances, I mean, obviously Jared Leto's Joker not, but all the other ones were iconic.
Yeah, Sam Hamm and
so-
Jack Nicholson, Kowalski, they're always up there. You got Nolan and Ledger,
right?
And like, who would have thought
Phoenix.
Todd Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look,
I mean,
you say what you want about Ledger's Joker, it's there's nothing like it. It is all on its own. There's both versions of it.
I know we like it, but most people don't.
They don't.
Right.
They don't. Well, Reno loves it. He may be the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Lito, the Montreal, it's great. Yes, fantastic. I go with you, yes, Lito, yes.
Yes, he's a huge fan.
I know.
Well, something you're a huge fan of is the Penguin, and we got that little teaser from HBO Max, or Max, whatever you want to call it now, and they had stuff from it, Pete. They had like actual
we had
scenes.
some nice new footage in there, a couple good lines. It seems like Ozzy was dominating the introduction voiceover there, so a few little teases. Just really pumped for everything that comes out of the Reverse. Dying just to explore what else is going on, and for what I was saying earlier about the Joker, I think applies to the Penguin. This is his big moment, right? We got some tease of him in the Batman. He kind of stole the show. He was only in it for like 10 minutes, but it seemed like he was in it for like 40, right? Like he played his role was larger than life, and Oswald was such a commanding presence that to get an 8-hour show, whew, I'm excited really to dip into the underworld of Gotham City and the crime and everything post-flood. It's something special, man. It really is. That's why I'm not sitting here like, hey, James Gunn, Batman 2, man. I'm like, I got the Penguin coming. I'm good. I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
Let me get through Aquaman. Got to get through Aquaman first, though.
This show has a lot of potential, and just from the clips we saw and the stills, the photos, it's about
who's making the show, to be honest, man. You throw that HBO label on there, I know now it's not there anymore. It's just Max, but you know what's going on.
Yeah, this thing looks like it's really good. It's funny. I just watched the Batman a couple of days ago, and I hadn't watched it in a long time, so I figured I'd sit down and watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's still
the wrong Batman movie for the season. That's a Halloween.
It's
movie.
Fantastic. Like it's such a good movie. The acting performances are just so good. Everyone is great.
No, it's wonderful.
So good. So he's, to me, he's the standout. Like he's the best part of it. You're right. He doesn't have a huge part in the movie, but he steals every scene he's in. So I can't wait.
It's funny when you compare big characters in short roles, like Superman in BVS to the Penguin in the Batman. Totally different effects. Like you sometimes forget Superman's in BVS, and you can't help but think the Penguin dominated the Batman.
Yeah, you could. He doesn't say much. That's why Superman doesn't say much in that movie.
And I love BVS. I do it all the time.
But
I was trolling Eric about it on Twitter.
He was again.
I saw I had the terrible trio got together and I had to input some information.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Rocky, and then
let me just insert my unnecessary comment,
dude.
That was for you, Holzman. I didn't bother you all weekend. Leave me alone.
It was Rocky and Star Wars. Like it was both of them.
I like Rocky though.
I'm just saying, like the people I was talking to Tom and Rick about those two films. That's it. It's a lot of work.
Next time you speak to Tom, tell him I was thinking about him because I was watching Merry Little Batman, and they have jelly deals in the cartoon. I don't know if you watched it yet.
I did watch it. Freaking adorable, very cute.
Dude, I love that movie. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but I'm telling you, it is a wonderful addition to your Christmas library, to your Batman library. Just a wonderful. I think I put it a notch below the Lego Batman movie. in terms of honoring the character, coming up with something new, being very funny, being very serious, right? Like it hits all those notes. I don't think it's as good as the Lego Batman movie.
No.
Slightly below, but I like what they were doing, and the animation did not bother me at all.
It was, I like how they made Alfred so old.
Yeah,
Like
it was just
super old in this.
It's a
He's
cartoon. I don't care.
He's my favorite character in it. But yeah, it's really well done.
This version of Damian was very enjoyable. Luke Wilson did a great job as Batman. I mean, there's so many great Easter eggs. Someone pointed out in the Batman on Film Facebook group that Intimidation Game, I believe, was a secret title of Batman Begins while they were filming it. You know, that was something great. I mean, when we saw the rocket penguins, right?
Yep.
I mean, the amount of Poison Ivy, a lot of love for Batman and Robin, which I wasn't expecting. You know?
Yes, there was a lot of references. Yes, Mr. Freeze.
More than anything I've ever seen in recent memory, a lot of love was given to Batman and Robin, and I appreciate that. Like, we make fun of it all the time. It's probably up. Batman and Robin is up there, got to be with BVS as the most made fun of Batman content of all time, right?
Oh, sure.
So to have that much love for Batman and Robin was very interesting. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it.
Did you get Merryweather new more vibes from Poison Ivy? Because I was getting them.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was feeling. I thought it was interesting. They didn't include Catwoman really. They had the cat named Selena. Like,
yeah,
a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool, just little fun.
That was yes, they did. You're right. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and it was very enjoyable.
Because I thought the whole thing was going to be like Home Alone.
Well, there was references to Home Alone. Yes, you're right.
Like, and they advertised it as such. You know, the home invasion, Damian versus Crooks, and that was hysterical.
Yes, definitely. If you have kids, show them this movie because it's it's very good.
Haas watched it with his daughter. She loved it. He loved it. So it's a lot of people are really happy about it.
So
because a lot of people complained about it beforehand. A lot of people were taking shots at the animation and the designs, and it's a little jarring, but overall it's very wholesome. It fits
the story though, right? Like it fits.
These are the same guys who grew up watching like Powerpuff Girls and loved it. Right. Like it was like this style of animation isn't as bad as that, in my opinion.
But it fits the quirkiness of the story. Like the animation is quirky too, so the theme is there throughout the whole thing. It was very well done.
Want to complain, man. I think this is fantastic. I really hope they put it out hard copy. I'll buy the Blu-ray this way. I can have it and add it to my library for Christmas season. You know, right next to Die Hard and Batman Returns.
It was a worthy addition, though.
Yeah,
it's a worthy addition.
I had a lot of fun with it.
I did too. I enjoyed it. It was very, very good. Well, we're at the end of this story.
That's it.
Yeah.
How's your phone doing? It's been vibrating a lot. I imagine all those ladies from Miami.
No, I have it on my the wireless charger, and it keeps falling off. So that's what you saw. It's not.
Oh, okay. I
keep trying to
was hitting you up, and
flatten
Sally
it to try and
Misty,
so that it doesn't keep moving.
What was her name? Tiffany, Tatiana.
Oh yeah,
Stephanie,
we're gonna do
Sally.
Yeah, I'm like DMX and What
Jesse.
They Want. The song What They Want. That's me.
Yeah,
naming all the female names. Yeah, that's it. So there for my hip hop fans out there.
Holzman. Can we get like a little bit of a Christmas carol before the show ends? Can you grace us with a Christmas present?
I'm still
song? Deck the halls with balls of Halsman.
Wow, not that. What the hell?
You should see the text thread between me and Reno. It's literally just voice message.
Trust me, he sends me excerpts of the songs you guys make up with my name in it. Like he'll send me stuff. I'm just like, what is?
So like all day is your ear just ringing?
I just laugh when I read them. Like, don't you guys have better things to do with your time?
It's like, no, this is what we do with our free time. We come up with songs in your honor. Eric has become so legendary that someone else has picked up the mantle internationally and is spreading the joy of the legend that is Holzman.
You guys are literally crazy. Like, literally nuts.
Reno's running around Montreal talking about Blade Runner and Eric. And Denny Villeneuve. That's what Reno talks about.
All right, Pete. Let's close this one down. Tell them where they can find you.
Do Holzman's Dream of Android Sheep. That's the title of Reno's new Blade Runner book.
Oh, Jesus.
You can follow me on social media at Pete Illustrated on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to listen, if you want more from this show, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at straight_O_G. Check out the Facebook group and the Facebook fan page. Lots of great stuff there. Everything that gets posted on Twitter and more gets posted on Facebook as well. Check out the Italian Spider-Man Coalition at Spidey Coalition, new handle for a new era. Check that out. We have an episode in the works this month. BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, all over those. Got 2 new Batman on Film podcasts out. Check those out on the Batman on Film podcast feed. Like I mentioned earlier, it was on the Comic Binge with Paul Herman, Javi, and the legendary Chris Clow, talking about Aquaman, Death of a Prince. That's on YouTube right now. If you want more Aquaman, I did an earlier podcast with Kowalski on the BOF feed about the Lost Kingdom comic book tie-in special, so that's there. And monthly, I'm on Ryan Lauer's The Batman Book Club. But we all know that I don't need to plug that podcast. It plugs itself.
That's true. It's been awesome to watch that podcast grow.
Yeah, it's just,
cool.
I don't know what he's doing over there, that Lauer thing. It's just, I don't know how he became so big. I don't know if he's just that nice. That nice thing.
It's a
front. He's not that nice. I'll tell you that right now. He's a cheater. You like all Michigan fans. They're all cheaters. Roll Tide, baby. Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Yep. It's been fun. I'm glad all these shows are doing successful. Successful. It's great.
How's All Nicked Up doing?
We're doing okay.
Good.
I was about to talk about it in a little bit, but just so everyone still remembers how to find me, it's been a while since we've had a show. So Twitter at Finally33. As Pete mentioned, I do a show called All Nicked Up. It's actually tonight. We'll be recording tonight, or going live tonight. Sorry, it's a live show. 7 p.m. tonight, but this won't be up by then, so I don't know why I'm saying that. Check us out on Twitter at all_Nicked_up is the handle. If you guys want to get at me, if you're Knick fans or just NBA fans in general, you want to get at us over there, send all the information, send everything there to the Twitter account. I have nothing else going on in my social media.
How do you feel about this being the last show until the new year? It's gonna be a tight.
You don't want to record next week?
It's news is gonna be scarce. You got Christmas on Monday, and I can't imagine much actually really happening.
We'll play it by ear. I mean, if there's stuff that we want to go get, if something breaks, we could do a show. So
yeah, we could do it that way.
But so yeah, if not, guys, let us be the first to wish you guys, if you celebrate, Merry Christmas.
Hope you had a happy Hanukkah.
A happy Hanukkah, yes, to all our Jewish fans and followers. Happy Kwanzaa to those who celebrate, and Happy New Year. Everyone celebrates New Year's, so if we don't do a show, let this be our Happy New Year wish to you guys.
When is Holes Mania?
That's not for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because don't forget Festivus. Festivus is on.
Oh yes, Festivus, of course. The airing of grievances.
I've already watched the episode. It's fantastic.
So yes, Festivus. And whatever else, whatever other end of year holidays are celebrated out there that we failed to mention, we hope you have a happy holiday season, spending time with your friends, family, and loved ones. And hopefully you get some good, whatever your fandom of choice is, hope you get some good gifts for your fandom of choice, whatever it is.
Right now it's Aquaman.
Yes.
Hopefully Aquaman.
That's probably the last thing we're going to say. Go see Aquaman. If you're a fan of the first film and you're a fan of Momoa in the role, go see it, because the last time you're going to. And this film, I think, deserves to be seen on a big screen. It's one of those type of movies you want to see it in a movie theater. So
I hope I see a giant,
go check it out.
Octopus. I know Torpo's in it, but I want to see, a great white shark. Maybe Jaws makes a cameo. I have no idea.
It'd be awesome. But definitely go check it out, guys. So if that's all, we're going to shut it down. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we'll see you next time.
Booyah!